Go.
Hi, my name is Cody Johnson, and this is my 2AC at National Qualifiers. Okay, so PERM, do both the 50-state CP and the plan. PERM solves best, February 3. Major national citywide and local policy permits systems, groups to work more actively with the progressive elements, government planning breakdown systems, devices interaction require after cooperation with the local, steer the radical opposition, raise the question about oppositional chance of one body plan, wherever social and environmental decision makes to be found with some values, and good use of mainstream political systems if it's to be effective in complex urban environments. Federalism tanks bike projects, lacks of federal oversight means funds won't get allocated by legal levy. More discretion states have less they spend bike projects the largest source of funds for anomalous transportation price with the TE program prevent political specific activities. States really admit that they don't want us to be spending on bicycle walking and recent estimate of the House of consider authorization centers for DLTs in Florida, Oklahoma, Utah, Nevada laws. Specifics that they don't support the government and don't want to be required to spend any funds on the bicycle and walking. So the states won't do it. State and city officials want federal leadership, which is lacking now. That turns their entire, knocks their CPI out of the water. It's pollution time. Let's talk about the local war students and universities providing leadership. First, the deepest movement and expert in state climate action plans at the EU, California Labor Rights. Interviews officials have repeatedly lamented the lack of federal action in this topic, but expressed the belief that the low federal leadership is imperative that states take action. Next, federal intervention is essential. Only the DOT can authorize funds. Craddock 9. Although local state officials are important federal transmission essential for financial support for creating, improving, and maintaining bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure for those facilities. Federal Department of Transportation provides attention for all transportation-related projects. So basically, what's going on with this is that they cannot claim our econ advantage whatsoever because they're not going to be going through the federal government, and so they don't have that benefit. Next, the plan boosts small business. Go to Mills 8. Bicycle redemption report record, simply for small local businesses. The testing ground for storage by less than once and more frequently gives small businesses an edge over suburban mega stores that cater to the motorized customers. The availability of local businesses can significantly reduce the amount of people drive. Basically, our plan is going to be benefiting these small places that they want to benefit. So the only reason to do the 50 states is to have that it benefits the local people, and we have that. Okay, sorry, I'm skipping through this. So, studies prove investing after the transportation fosters smart growth planning. Frank et al. It's cross-sectional allows for clear evidence that they are for strategies found converging benefits of public health, and increasing transit accessibility, residential density, and street connectivity are also associated with more energy expended from walking, less energy generated from motorized transport, and significantly increasing the benefits of energy from walking, energy from motorized transport. Results from the study make clear that the increased investment in transit and regional accessibility method will increase walkability and local neighborhoods can lead to more active, healthy, and sustainable future. The plan leads to smart growth. Scotia Mills. We don't need theirs because all their benefits have to do with the locals and the states. And so since we have the smart growth and the plan is growing anyway and it leads to this smart growth, and we don't need to do the 50 states that has no benefits whatsoever. Scotia Mills 8. Investments in bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure are least reduced driving by simulated Richard Board of type of development, often referred to as smart growth. Pattern compact development places, destinations, and homes work. Where place stops and recreation close together while providing easy access to public transportation and infrastructure for bicycle and walking. The availability of public transportation should increase the mix of residences, businesses, and other amenities and communities. So efforts have been described bicycle and walking facilities such as stress. So not only does their CP not help, not need to be for any of their impact stuff, but they don't gain our econ advantage anyway, so they cannot claim that they have any of our solvency. I'm skipping a couple more cars. So now I want to go on to all of that also goes to the spending DA. And so I guess I'm going to move on to that. The plan saves more than $65 billion a year. Gochi and Mills 8. The financial value of mobility producing the greenhouse gas reduction and healthcare savings amounts more than $65 billion every year. These benefits dwarf historic spending for bicycle and walking, which is $453 million per year from 2005 to 2006. Basically, what's going on is that we don't have any need for their spending. DA doesn't cut it because all we're going to be doing is increasing a little bit of spending, and we get a lot of these impacts back. Did they run its spending DA? Yeah. Okay, sweet. So basically, the spending DA doesn't matter because we have a significant amount of savings, and even though we spend a little bit, we're gaining back $1 million a day. Not to mention, it has nothing to do with our advantage 3, which is quality of life. If we're talking about quality of life, then this smart growth thing also really helps, and it cannot be like that with their CPs. So basically, the spending DA doesn't matter because we're going to be getting good funding back. Now on to their eco-managerialism critique. Environmental amnesia as a result of the human disconnection from nature is an ideological blockade in the progress to resolve climate change. As solves, Con 9. Why we're destroying nature is called environmental generational amnesia. A significant number of children interviewed understood about the idea of air pollution, but they did not believe that Houston had such a problem. Even though Houston and steroids, one of the most polluted cities in the U.S., children have a lot of better experience with life with the place with less pollution. By recognizing Houston was itself a polluted city, people start contributing what is environmental normal based on the natural world could encounter childhood with each and so generation amount of environmental degradation can increase with each generation tends to take the degraded condition, non-degraded condition as a normal experience with a similar and we should have with the generation. They say, well, there should be a way of taking some temporary air, we should leave trees, all this is good parts, but I kind of look at be saying no logging, so they log. Environmental generational amnesia helps explain why we degrade and destroy the nature that we depend on for our physical and psychological well-being. Basically, our plan, we have people riding on bikes and not being in their cars, zooming past all the nature of things, so we solve for this. What we're happening is that we are going to be connecting people to nature, and economic managerialism talks about how we are justifying destroying nature. The reason that we justify destroying nature is because we are not connected to it anymore. Our plan connects people to the environment and destroys this idea of eco-managerialism. They're talking about how, in order, not to mention they have no impacts and they have no solves because all their alternatives reject the concept of eco-managerialism in the 1AC. If we only reject the 1AC, then we're not going to be solving anything. They can't change the alternative now. If their alternative is simply to be just, we're going to reject the 1AC, they're not going to solve for anything. And so the impact is going to happen no matter what, but with our plan, we have a small possibility of solving for their impact because we're going to be connecting people to the environment and helping them understand that the environment is important in this round. Not to mention, bicycling, if you extend across all of our warming advantages, talking about how great warming is for the environment, then we are helping out the environment, we are putting it first. And so that's where, that's awesome for this. So eco-managerialism is basically talking about how we have to be healing nature instead of our wallets. We can do that. Our plan does do that. We do heal nature. We're going to be talking about how we're connecting people to the nature. And if we don't connect people to nature, then humanity loses touch with nature. And if we lose touch with nature, then we're not going to be able to solve anything that has to do with the environment. Humanity is losing touch with nature. Bill Cosby is right across time. Even when it comes to last generations of Americans who share their attachment to the land, only 2% of American households live on farms, whereas 40% have shown to childhood are the ones that catch up things in fields now, being sent to middle pages, can always identify P2 menopause and lily pods than animals and plants. The environmental movement has focused so much on preserving nature that it is negligent to do enough to preserve constituency for nature. Basically, what we're talking about is that we have to do the plan if we're going to be connected to nature. Because eco-managerialism is talking about how we have to connect people to nature. Our plan does that. Therefore, eco-managerialism is actually a benefit to our plan. You can go ahead and make that an advantage to the bike's plan. Also, we have a capitalism advantage, which I am going to read for you right now. The auto industry is a classic example of capitalism. The spawn theory of reduction is the result of capitalism to expand market share. Capitalism must embed in expansion of their product capacity. The world auto industry is a classic example of the biggest automakers and build has the large world markets in North America, Europe, and Asia. And they're surely competing for market share. They're building capacity to turn about a million vehicles, but they only sell about 60 miles, so they're using about 70% production capacity to cuts to the rate of return of capital extensive assembly lines. Mark there. Cars key to capitalist expansion. Hopwood 99. Clearance because so many parts of cars based transportation block into the land of human transportation. Resource varies not particularly, but capitalism which depends on survival on every increasing positive production, using more and more resources and producing more and more waste. Basically, if we're going to be focused on getting rid of the roots to capitalism, which is cars. So not only do we have this eco-managerialism advantage on our side, we also have capitalism. And so if they cannot solve for capitalism, then capitalism is going to basically destroy. And so since we have that advantage on our side, then we have to look to our case as being the best thing out there right now, especially because when we're talking about eco-managerialism and we're focusing on the environment, then I mean we also have to focus on capitalism as well because capitalism destroys the environment. Awesome. I'm now for cross-examination.